What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel today. I appreciate you coming by. With the patch dropping here in just a couple days, I think it's really important that you kind of sit down and get a game plan together for these rank down tickets, which if you've been playing for a while like myself, you know, I have a lot of characters that I ranked up a long time ago that I'm really excited to be able to pull some of the catalysts out of because I really never use them. I have several mutants like that. I've got a Magneto and also Cyclops, who I got from Realm of Legends, that I never play with them. And the opportunity to, you know, take some of my catalysts out of there and put them into other characters is really exciting. And I think one option that you should be taking a look at doing this with is Wolverine X-23, which the one you're seeing on screen here is mine. I do have her at 550. I got her in a basic arena, I awakened her with a gem, and then 2 days later I pulled her from a 4-star crystal, which is unfortunate because it was a total waste of a gem. But it just means that I've had her awakened for a long time, and I've had a lot of experience with her. Most of the time I use her in Alliance quests, and with Act 5 dropping, if you have not yet completed Act 4, and even to in the road to the Labyrinth of Legends, she is a really great option to take in. The mutant characters have really strong synergies that buff her up incredibly well. There's a lot of crit damage, there's a lot of critical rate, and that really goes hand in hand with the type of character that she is. Her signature ability, Frenzy, is a very interesting ability. Whenever you have at least 3 bleed stacks on your enemy, she's going to be doing more damage. Her critical rate goes up by 11.3%, and the amount of critical damage she does goes up by 11.3%, which she has a really high chance to inflict a bleed. Whenever she does a critical attack, lands a critical attack, that's what I'm trying to say, she has a 79% chance for that critical attack to turn into a bleed. So basically all I'm trying to say is she's a very aggressive character. You want to be playing very aggressively when you have her. You want to be trying to constantly parry the enemy, keeping them in the corner, and just continually keeping these bleeds on the enemy, always at like 4 and 5. Now, one benefit to having this character is if you run into somebody who is bleed immune, so you run into an Ultron or a Vision or another Colossus or somebody like that, instead of causing the bleed, when you would have done a bleed, she actually gets an increase to her critical damage, and that, like a bleed, will stack up to 5 times. So she can be putting on massive amounts of damage, which is always fun to play with. The video clip that I've got running in the background is in fact the Road to the Labyrinth of Legends. This is Act number 6 in Chapter 4, so this is 4.6. And one of the biggest things that you're seeing here is even though you have spiked armor, so every time I'm doing a critical damage, I'm getting damage back on myself, similar to like a Thorns node, but she's got the regen. So her regen ability, she gets more health back based upon the amount of power she has. So all I do is I just fill my power bar all the way up to 3, and I really don't even worry about the spiked armor. She's gaining, well over 100 health every tick on the regen, and I can just be as aggressive as I want. You do have to keep in mind that unlike the regular Wolverine, her regens will not stack. So if you see your health getting low and you do get a regen, you may want to back off and play a little bit more defensively and wait for that regen to completely expire before you go back into attack. What you don't want to have happen is if you're needing the regen and you've got one on, if you go in and hit the character and that causes another regen, then it cancels the old one out. They don't stack. So that's a very important thing to keep in mind. If you are looking to take her into Alliance Wars, I haven't done a lot of testing with that myself, but I would assume she is probably a pretty good character for that. You will make sure that you have got yourself a couple of points into Despair. With the amount of debuffs that she's going to be putting on the characters. Normal nodes are probably going to be okay, but if you're trying to do some of the mini bosses, either on the corners or in the middle, they may be getting a lot of willpower back. So if you can get yourself the Despair Mastery and put a couple points into that, that would really benefit you. I personally have 2 points in the Despair Mastery, so each debuff I have does 10% less regen from their willpower. And what you're seeing right now is the Superior Iron Man from Road to the Labyrinth of Legends. Again, this is the final act in Chapter 6. But what I'm trying to do here is be really aggressive and keep 4 or 5 stacks on, because I know he's just about to go into his regen. And what you'll notice is when he does go into his regen, it's very much diminished the amount of health that he's getting back, because with 4 and 5 stacks, you know, each one of those is 10%. So he is getting back, you know, 40%, 50% less health than he normally would be. So in my opinion, Despair is a definite must if you're going to take X-23 into Alliance Wars. So definitely consider her. If you are going to be ranking down some champs, which I would highly suggest that you do, especially ones that you're not using that aren't as valuable, if you don't need them for their prestige, definitely take a look at X-23. I think a lot of people will be doing that, and we will see a lot more usage out of her. For some reason, I just don't know if people don't realize how strong of a character she is. I know everybody was in love with Gwenpool and her bleeds. But for me personally, I'd had X-23 for a long time, and I thought she was almost equal with Gwenpool as far as her bleed ability. I'll go ahead and let the Realm of Legends gameplay run through so you can just kind of get an understanding of really how strong that bleed is, especially when paired with a strong crit and critical damage team like I've got running right now. But definitely leave any questions you have down in the comments. You know, there's a lot of discussion about this going on right now, and I hope to get a couple other videos out before the patch hits that are going to kind of give you some guidance, I guess, maybe some suggestions as far as who to rank down and who to rank up. A lot of changes are about to take place. Make sure that you get yourself informed on some of these new characters and what your options are. If this was helpful to you, I really would appreciate a thumbs up, and consider subscribing if you haven't done that already. I really appreciate the support I've received here at the very beginning of my channel, and look forward to hearing from more of you guys and being able to play with you all. Alright, take care guys. Till the next video. Bye-bye.